Hey there, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of Real Folk Talk. And this is the second part of our Passport Brothers discussion. And again, thank you all for tuning back in. Remember, we operate in the power of 5. Support the channel at the very least. Drop a like on it. And let's get back into it. We're going to head right back into the video. And we're going to see what goes on from there.
That's you were saying.
No, you were saying.
Because you're saying that the only reason men go to other countries is because the women are cheaper.
I didn't say that was the only reason. You were asking what a passport bro is, and that's what I understand it to be.
In the context of passport bros, you said the only reason passport bros exist is to go to other countries where the women are cheaper, assuming that they're for sale.
Assuming that they're for sale?
Right.
We already went over this, but if you want to go back to it, we can. I'm not going to with you. I said it's more expensive.
I'd pull back too if I were you.
It's more expensive to date women. Why? Because you have an army of dudes who watch this and would suck, basically.
Whoa! That was a strange.
That's Exhibit A as to why the passport bro movement exists in the United States of America. Right there, Exhibit A and B and C and D. And
Okay. Hell.
She loves London.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Holy.
You're not alone.
At least she knows what it is on some level.
They understand what I'm saying too, but
Yeah.
they want to do that.
Who's they?
You guys.
Whatever the purple suit's name is.
Okay. Several things wrong with what she's talking about. First thing is, she doesn't even know his name. She's going to argue with the gentleman, but doesn't know who he is. Not a good look. Number 2, she's also arguing about her definition of passport bros, which is kind of sort of there, but not really. Because it has nothing to do with the value of women. It's simply men wanting to look for more traditional women and they leave the country to do so. That's it, in a nutshell. That's all it is. Anything else is superfluous. It's adding on, it's pile on, it's all that other, anything else you want to call it. But at its core, it simply is, I can't find anybody in America who know what's going on in Central Europe. I don't know what's going on in Eastern Europe. I don't know what's going on in Latin America. I don't know what's going on in Africa. Whatever. Let's get back to it.
John.
What's your name again?
My name is Alejandra.
Oh yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah, I expected you to. I'm not famous. But he is supposed to be.
You might be famous now.
So only two girls on the panel knew what passport bros were.
Do
you agree with her sentiment? Or no?
I don't think everybody does it, but yes, I agree. It is cheaper to take them out. It's cheaper to have some of them are for.
Okay. Once again, sorry for interrupting this and breaking this up. It's going to be stopped quite a bit as we dive into this tomfoolery. But this is a classic case of women's PC. And what do I mean by that? Women being politically correct. They don't want to step on anybody. They don't want to perceive anyone to be against anybody. They all want to have the hive mindset. So they will agree with you, even if it's just to a certain extent. But they will agree with you just so that they can give the illusion or the facade of a monolith. They're all speaking with one voice. No, they're not. Because they're human at their core. And humans all have different ways of thinking and expressing and doing things. So it may appear to be one big facade, But once you start peeling back the layers, asking simple questions, you start to understand how they really think. Let's get back to it.
They are literally. Have you been to infected Jedi? Like a machine, like you said.
Fair enough. I've noticed that you guys have made the comparison from a financial standpoint. But what about, and you alluded to this earlier, what about the demeanor and the, I guess, cultural and personality differences between American and Western women? What about that? You don't think that's important as well?
And here we go with the I think, I feel, to me, all this stuff. Everything but, well, actually, he was asking more to her, so we can let that slide. Let's get back to it.
Already made that point earlier.
Yeah, I know, but like, do you think that's more of a reason, or do you think it's more the finances?
Both, for sure. Some guys.
Yeah. Because I know you worked on the money part, but like you mentioned like the cultural differences. Do you guys, so you think it's a combination of the two?
Yes.
Okay, what about you? Do you agree with that, or do you think it's just strictly financial?
I agree with her 100%, but also I will reiterate. You asked me my definition. That's what I think it is. I didn't say it was wrong. I didn't say passport bros shouldn't exist.
I have a question for ladies here. If you could travel to a country where guys were taller, successful, give you whatever you wanted, and as well were not, I want to say, demanding, would you go there to meet those guys?
That's a very good question. I bet you virtually everybody on this panel will answer in the affirmative. Let's see what they say.
100%.
And then why?
But compared to what?
The guys here in America that are just want to smash, dash, and say, oh, love you too, baby, and then dip.
Well, you gotta ask the next person, because I think all guys want to smash and dash.
All right, let's make this simple for us. You made it too hard for them. Let's say there's a magical country out there called Menobia. Set up Menobia. All right? And dudes are, most of them, let's say 80-90% of them are over 6 feet tall. They're making 100K a year. I'm sorry?
Why is height a thing?
It's one of the most significant attraction triggers for females.
Okay.
Statistically speaking. But yeah, so they're all over 6 feet tall in general. Not all, but like let's say 70% of them are 6 feet tall. They make good money, they're charming and charismatic, etc. Do you think women would leave the United States where guys don't want to pay for dates and are broke and fat, etc. and go to this place? Do you think
Now, before we get back into it, that pretty much is exactly what Fresh alluded to earlier. He just made it more simple. And if these women were on point, they'd bring that up. But the fact that they don't gives his arguments that much more weight.
We'll do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect world, I guess.
What about you? You think women would leave?
Oh, I would be. 100%.
Heights never really mattered to me, and I make my own money, so it doesn't matter to me.
Really? Do you make more than your guy?
I'm not even 100% sure.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
Is your guy taller than you?
He's 5'5".
Okay. Does he make more money than you?
Probably make something around similar.
Is he stronger than you physically?
Yeah, he's a guy. In some things, he's a producer, so I don't know how to produce, but can he code a website now?
I mean, Chris?
We have pros and cons, you know.
What, Chris? You married? No, I ain't get married. Okay.
He's a music producer, not.
Did you go to this country where the men had these things?
Why?
Not you.
Okay, sorry. No, I don't need a man.
Yeah, we never know. Okay. What about you?
If the personality's better, absolutely.
All right. What about you? Would you go to this?
She said if the personality's better. But mostly everything that he's discussed, you would find out on site. Before you even started talking to him, he's taller than you. he has the appearance of having more money than you. He's stronger than you. Those things you can pretty much catch off rip. Once you talk to somebody, then you get his personality. And this is what women focus on, and this is why there's such a disconnect between men and women today. Because they're looking at the finished product. And they have no clue as to what went into it. As Myron has said on numerous occasions, it takes men years, sometimes decades, to get to be to the point where women are paying attention to them. And they see oh yeah, baby, he looks good, I'm going to get with him. But they don't know what went into it. Another one he did that I really, really enjoyed was the analogy to pizza. You go to your favorite pizza place, woman eats pizza, oh, she loves the pizza, it tastes so good. That's fine. But she doesn't know what went into it. The fact that she had the spices were imported, the dough has to be flipped a certain way, the oven has to be a certain temperature, and there's a certain make and model to it. All these things go into that final pizza, but she doesn't see that. All she knows is, oh, this pizza's good. And that in and of itself is a travesty. Because, again, they have no clue. And they don't want to know. Because if they wanted to know, they'd take the time to find out. And that's why a lot of people out there, a lot of women, I should say, out there, when they say these things, I ignore them. And I ignore them simply because, what do you mean? You don't know. It's not that you don't know. You don't care to know. It's not important to you. Because if it is important to you, again, you'd learn it. Let's get back to these guys.
Yes.
Okay. What about you? Yeah,
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
I'm already married. Period.
I say yes if it makes sense. Yeah.
I think, ladies, what you guys kind of fail to realize is that the traits that men look for in women aren't really abundant in the United States. Women here are ruder, more crass, more masculine. They prioritize their career and traveling and having fun over children and family. I mean, I wrote this in my book, actually. Why women deserve that men are like fifth or sixth on the list. No, I'm serious. They polled women, right? And women put men in like fourth or fifth place behind traveling and getting experiences, etc. as like their priority of things that they want to do. So in general, a majority of women don't prioritize finding a man. So think about it. If you don't prioritize something, are you really going to put your effort into retaining it?
No,
I guess
Like, are you going to actually be the best woman that you can be and protect your value and take care of a guy, etc. if it's kind of at the bottom of your list? No, you're going to prioritize other things. And I think that's kind of shown itself in modern day society, why so many guys are like, you know what, I'm going to go to a country where a woman treats me the way I feel like I need to be treated, because women here don't necessarily want to adhere to traditional traits. But I think that the problem is that women want a guy to pay for dates, be tall, be charming, be charismatic, and bring all these things to the table. But they want to be able to say, well, I'm still strong and independent, I can do my thing. Does that make sense? I saw you giving thumbs down. Why do you disagree with that?
I don't think that. I agree.
I kind of disagree with that because
guys.
Sure, we can go around the table.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We'll start with you first, and then we can walk through.
I just feel like it's so many things. It can play on both ends.
You notice how she started with I feel. She started off with I feel. Not I think. Didn't come up with data and statistics to back up what she's saying. It's gut feelings. It's based emotions. I feel. You're wrong. You are wrong. because it's your particular worldview. It's not even worldview of women in general. It's your worldview. And because it's your worldview, it can be picked apart. Because what you experience isn't necessarily what the next person next to you has experienced, or the next person or the next person. It's specific to you, which is why when you start hearing things like, I feel like, you can discount it. Unless the question is specifically asking for a particular point of view. Myron didn't ask for a point of view. He's simply stating what God's looking for. And you disagreeing is fine, but why do you disagree? You failed in your meaning, because I feel like it's not an answer. It holds no water. It falls flat on its face on a cursory inspection. Let's get back to it.
It's so many things to look for in a person on both ends, like as a woman and as a man. I don't think you have to go, if you prefer to go to another country to look for that, then yeah.
Let me ask you a better question then. Who has a bigger laundry list of requirements, men or women?
If you don't say women, I'm going to scream.
Who's pickier?
Don't lie. People watching.
No, I'm not going to lie, because I know some very picky men. Like, I know.
And again, the politically correct, the both sides argument. We're not asking for your worldview. We don't care to know what you think or how you feel. He asked you a general question. Who has a bigger laundry list of things that they need out of a relationship? Men or women? It's women. Men are foolishly simple and simplistic in their needs. We don't need a whole lot. We don't ask for a whole lot. And as I stated before in other podcasts, there are 3 things that we want, and it doesn't necessarily have to be all 3. You can skate with 2. And if we're desperate, you can have 1 as long as it's fit. So what are you saying? What the fuck are you saying? Let's get back to it.
Yeah, but that's a general statement. There's
Who's pickier, men or women?
It's 50-50.
You really think men?
No, it's not. It's 50-50. No, it's not. Because if you think about the things that you're looking for in a guy, and you think about the things that a guy is looking for you, when you bother to think about it, you see the difference. You're full of shit.
Yes, in 2024,
how some guys live?
In 2024,
a mattress, a fucking TV, and a speed dial to Papa John's.
Let's hear dating app.
Did you all catch that? Did you actually catch that? He said a guy could get by with an apartment with a mattress, a TV, and a phone with speed dial to Papa John's. That's how simple men are. When we get houses and things like that, we don't do it for us. We don't need that. We do it for the woman and for the family that hopefully comes after it. That's why we do what we do. It has nothing to do with because we don't care to live like that. The fancy cars and all other stuff like that. We do that for the women. We don't do it for us. That concept that she can't seem to grasp, or more to the point, doesn't want to grasp, is so simple. And she's having such a hard time dealing with it. And I honestly think the reason why is because if she acknowledges that truth, it's going to immediately form other questions in her mind that will eventually lead her to a point where, why do I even think this way? Why am I doing it? And rather than to do that, which requires honesty as well as critical thinking, keep thinking the way you're thinking. It'll do you good for the next 5 to 10 years. And actually, it's more like 3 to 5 because after the next 5 years, it's all downhill. Let's get back to it.
Let's use dating apps as an example. Are you aware that like men swipe right on like 90% of girls, whereas women only swipe right about 50% of girls? Or sorry, 5% of men?
I mean, because what are they looking for when they're on a dating app?
Sex.
Anyone that they can
So they're gonna swipe more because it's more probability that they're gonna get some cooch.
But you're missing a point though. At least that woman gets to interact with him and build, and they can at least interact and see, because he might meet her, say, oh, I just want to, and then be like, oh, she's actually not. I like this girl. Then it could go into something. At least they get the opportunity. Whereas, like, what I'm saying on the other side, the women swipe left on 95% of men. They're not even getting a chance. So who's actually pickier?
Okay. There you go. There you go. And look at her. Look at her. Oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh. The reason why men swipe on 90, swipe right 90% of the time, is twofold. One is because, yeah, they're horny and they're looking to smash. The other thing is because their needs are so basic, a bigger majority of women can fill those needs. And on the other side, because your needs are so specific, fewer men fit those needs. See how simple that was? You see how simple that was? And I bet she still fights it.
Okay. When it comes to a dating app, yes, because there's all types of finicky things happening on a dating app. So yeah, we're gonna be picky on who we swipe.
That's precisely my point.
But that's on a dating app. Think about it in reality, in real life. Men are actually just as picky as women in real life.
No, and I defy you to prove it. I defy her to prove this lie.
Not on a dating app.
Okay. That is not true at all.
You guys don't like girls if they have ugly toes.
No, see, that's a female thing right there. 100%.
When's the last time a guy told you, or show me a guy that goes up to a girl like, you know what? I don't want to take you on a date because I don't like your toes.
Bro, probably my ex.
Your ex, but he was.
Again, she answered that question with a specific question to her. Because she knows this. Women just aren't forthcoming and as a whole. They're not. They just aren't. And that's why, and that's another reason why you have such a disconnect between men and women. Men are blunt and to the point. Women are detail-oriented and flighty. You could tell a man, why'd you break up with her? I broke up with her because things were working out. And okay, that's fine. That's exactly what we needed to know. We asked the question, you gave an answer, we're accepting that answer. Let's move on. Ask a woman that question. What happened? Was it an argument? Did you hit her? Did this, that, that, and she's trying to drill down. And the man's like, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't drill down. He told me what I wanted to know. It sounded right to me. I ran with it. We moved on. Let's move on.
was with you.
Well, yeah, but he was telling me that about other girls.
You guys dated.
Smash, though.
Yeah,
So you got an opportunity.
he liked my toes, but he would tell me that was a thing. Like guys are picky.
He told you what you wanted to hear to make you feel good.
Yeah. Whatever, bro.
He would smash anything, nigga.
Okay.
And see, and there she goes. There she goes. Whatever, bro. And it's the truth. Men will say whatever they think you want to hear, just so that with the end result of having sex. Men really are that simple. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But men are nowhere near as complicated as you think they are. Getting back to it.
That's the thing. But when it comes to dating, though, when it comes to dating is another thing. Exactly. Thank you. That's what dating is different.
One mic, please. Now, they're always saying something. I don't know what they were saying, which is something else they like to do. Everybody wants to talk at the exact same time. We can't have that on a show. You can do that in a general conversation with friends and stuff like that. You can't do that when people are trying to ascertain a different person's viewpoint. You can't have 5 or 6 people talking at the same time because it sounds like noise. And nobody wants to hear that.
Stay on the topic at hand. Remember, I told you guys about why men are going to other countries.
What was the question again?
Yeah, so let's not go with it.
Ed, what was the question again? You weren't paying attention. That was the question. You weren't paying attention to it. You tuned him out. Because if you were paying attention, you'd know what the question was. If you were paying attention. Let's get back to it.
Fucking.
Let's not just.
What was the question?
Let's do that first. For dating or for fucking?
One at a time.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Let's separate that first.
For dating or fucking, because you could fuck anybody.
They're picking on who they date.
Right. Who they fall in love with.
We were talking about why men are leaving the United States. That's how the conversation started. And I gave you guys specifically
For both, you moron. For both. And you are the reason why so many guys out there think women are stupid. He's talking in general. He's not being specific. He's not bringing up any examples. He's simply saying, as a whole, in general, this is why men leaving the dating place in America and seeking their fortunes abroad. That's it.
why men are leaving and going to other places to find these women. That's how the conversation started. Some of you disagree with the points that I stated as to why the men are leaving.
For dating or for let's separate that first.
For both.
Okay.
For both. So I saw that you had disagreed with what I was saying. You were putting a thumbs down, and because I was just explaining why men are leaving. I mean, go ahead. What do you want to say?
For sure. I feel like they're leaving.
There we go. I feel like, which means you can safely ignore the rest of what this bimbo's got to say.
Because they can get it for an easier check.
What? What you say? And he goes,
Period.
You said
get it easier, like easier what?
Easier check. It's cheaper. Like it's more inexpensive.
Yeah, of course that's a component of it, but I think you guys are really focusing a lot.
So it's more inexpensive in the UK or Germany or China or Korea or Japan, all these other first world countries.
What they're looking for, they're not looking for love either.
And you know this how? Because it happens to you. You can't place every man on your misadventures. I'm telling you. If I had to date today, the bloodline would stop. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't, because my middle brother has a son, so it wouldn't completely stop. But it would come dangerously close to stopping. It would come dangerously close to stopping. Because I don't have the time or the patience for any of this nonsense. One of the reasons why I honestly think that I'm not where I should be is because my work ethic, as hard as it is, and I am a hard worker, but I'm a hard worker within the time frame allotted. I won't go above and beyond because it doesn't make any sense to me to do so. But that's bumping into my time with my wife and my children. That's why I haven't made it. That's the only, between the hours of between the hours of 7 and 3, you have my undivided attention. I'm going to bust my butt and give you what you need. Before and after it, don't even look my way. Don't even look. It's not happening. Unless the prospect of more money is in there. And even then, it's only going to be for so long, because you're not going to watch me just do this with other people. I lack the killer instinct. I'm the type of person, I'll knock you down, but then I'll at the very least help you back up on your feet. Worst case scenario is I'll leave you laying. That's me in a nutshell. But now that I have what I have, and I'm comfortable in it, I'm beginning to reacquaint myself with my killer instinct. I know what I want. I now know how to get it. And I say this to the rest of the world unequivocally. Get behind me or get out of my way. Because whether you're there or not, I'm coming through. And if I have to go through you to do it, so be it. I'm going to get mine. Let's finish up.
They're looking for money.
Then why are they getting? Wait, who's?
It's just transactions.
What?
John, do you think
They're looking for money.
Who's they? We're talking about men looking for women.
But listen, you're talking about men going to different countries to look for love, because in other countries, there's not as much money.
Oh, she's saying that like there's more saving. They get to save more. She's literally saying they get to save more.
And that's fantastic. But I literally just explained to you that, and let me just summarize it one more time for you. I understand that you guys are talking. Excuse me.
Continue.
You're saying here we go. Like let's
continue.
Because you didn't actually attack my point. You went right to the financial when I was very explicit in saying, well, there's other reasons too. Like I was talking about the personality differences and the cultural differences as to why the men are leaving. You're honing in on the money,
but
which I addressed.
listen. A lot of females, they're not looking for love. They're looking for money in other broke countries.
Of course.
Okay.
But at least, because women in America are looking for money too, right?
And there's not as much money in other countries.
Yeah.
That's why men go.
But hold on.
Financially stable.
The women here are looking for money in the United States as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so it's everywhere. So if I'm going to spend my money, is it better for me to go ahead and get with a girl that at least I'm getting a return back on my investment, where she's actually a woman, she's feminine, she's submissive, she listens to me, she doesn't give me a headache, etc.? If all girls are looking for money, which you just said, which is true, hold on, which is true. I agree with you, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I think women should look for a guy that can support them.
Security. It is compliant.
But and that's fair. It's a biological trait. I'm not shitting on for that. What I am saying is at least the man gets something in return, where he's getting a lady versus another version of him. I'm saying a lot of American women are masculine. So why am I going to pay top dollar for a girl that behaves like a man when I can go to another country where she has cultural differences, she understands masculinity, she understands
pay like $2.
I think that also goes.
We're going to end it with that. The link for this clip, 26 minutes, 19 seconds, is below. I think you should listen to it. It's a mess out there. Stay safe. We're gone.